Okay, this is a 14 conductor ribbon cable. This is what I use to extend these pieces. You want to prepare your ribbon cable to be connected to these. It's not really hard to do. You separate them out. I'm only going to do a little bit of these so you can get an idea of how to do it. I'll do 5 of them. Alright, you want to bend one up, next one down, up, next one down, next one up. Alright, once you have them separated like that, either the top or the bottom, it really doesn't matter which, you want to shorten it just a little bit. Okay, once that's shortened, we'll go ahead and strip these out. You don't want to strip very much off the end of these because you'll end up having to shorten them anyway. Alright. Okay, keep them separated up and down. Now we want to go ahead and tin these. Put a little that puts a little bit of wire or a little bit of solder on the end of the wire to prepare it for the board. Makes it easier to stick. It's almost impossible to stick otherwise. But we'll tin those. Get that away from that board. All right, got that one. Okay, now all those have a little bit of solder on them. Straighten them back out, and you have some shorter, some longer, and you end up with one that looks like that. So you want to pull the longer ones back up out of the way. Do the shorter ones first. What have I done here? Pulled up the long one right there. Okay, there. Okay, so that one goes down too. Alright, so you got every other one up or down. So you should have 7 up, 7 down. Okay, the first one we're going to do is we're going to connect to the ground. And that's the place where we cut that shield off, because we want to make sure that that's grounded as well. So I forgot to put a little solder on that one. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, connect that ground. Oh, by the way, it is important the way you position this thing. If this is the way it's going to sit, right like that, in your build. This is the top of the RF board, so if it's sitting up, it would be sitting like that or laying down like this. You don't want to try to connect anything to the light side of the board. You want to do it on the opposite side of the board where the chip is. And you also don't want to attach your cables like that, sticking out on the end, because then you've got these cables sticking out like that. You want to connect your cables where they come back across the board like this. This makes it much easier to secure your connections where they won't work loose. If they're sticking out like this, they work around and they come loose. So you want to start on this side like that. Okay, I'll go ahead and connect the first one here. Alright, that's a good connection. Okay, now trusty tweezers come into play, and you're going to be connecting them to this bottom row right here, not the top row. Move that so you can see a little better. Alright, now connect that one. Put it into place and Alright, that's connected. Next one over. Yeah, give it a little bit of a tug. Make sure that the connection's good when you're done. And you have to wait like a second after you remove your soldering iron for the solder to cool down. I see that one's good. That one's good. Alright, now I can start on the long ones. Let's go ahead and fold them back. This video might have to be broken up into more than one video. I didn't think it would take this long. Okay, that one's still being stubborn. That's the same one that caused me problems before, I think. Is that one good? Yeah, that's good. Alright, one more to do. Alright, now that's done. Now, I would eventually go ahead and lift these up and put a little bit of hot glue under that, not over the chip, deeper up under this to hold this steady, just to keep them from working loose. But if you pull them across the board like that, it's much less prone to pulling loose. Now, that's not all we do to this RF board. On the opposite side of the RF board here, now this is the light side of the board. Okay, on the light side, with the sync button here, you want to connect to these points, the 2 points that tell the Xbox to eject or to power on and off. Normally that's handled here, and that's the connector for the capacitive touch buttons, but we're not going to use those. So, starting from left to right, you just count one in. Now that right there is going to be power, skip one, and go to the next one. That's eject. And over here you're going to pull ground and the sync button off of these two terminals. So you'll have 4 cables running across this. And you do the same thing as you do with the. So I'll go ahead and use these. I'll just get 4 of them. Alright, you take 4 of them, and you want to do the same thing as you did on the other side. Separate them out. We'll have 2 of them that are longer to connect back here, and then 2 of them that you don't pull back quite as much. Because you need this to be as flat as it can possibly go. Yeah, that's going to be good right there. So now we're going to cut these off shorter. That's going to work. I'm going to cut these off. Okay, go ahead and tin those real quick. Okay, now I'm going to connect one to one side and one to the other, right here. I'm going to do these one at a time. Okay, that one's connected. Tweezers. A little bit of a tug, make sure it's still connected. Now the eject one is the fourth one over from the left on the bottom. And the power will be the second one over from the left on the bottom. Okay, now the other end of this cable, and you wanted this flat because your ring of light clips over this. This doesn't interfere with the ring of light if this is nice and flat like that. This side of this cable will be hooked to a header that I can plug into my keypad for eject, sync, and power. And the other side of this one will be separated out in almost the exact same way and connected to these. The only trick here is to make sure that you get this the right side up. So, you know, it's a little tricky, but you know, just use your head and think about it, and it's not that difficult. But yeah, that's how you do it. I'm going to switch off, and I'll come back with a video on connecting this side, and there you go.